For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined as always by my co-host, Sal.
Hello.
We are reporters from the Daily Deposit, and we are coming to you live from Super City's 98th annual Superhero Day Parade.
Hooray.
Wow, and what a wonderful day it is out here, Sal. A little cold, but spirits are high. How are you feeling, Sal?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited to see the great floats that are coming out today. This is, of course, the 98th parade. We've got some legacy floats coming down.
Of course.
Some new blood entering the scene. All in all, the energy is high here. But also, at the same time, the energy is a little suspicious.
I'm glad you picked up on that. There's a little bit of suspicion in the air, just with everything that's going on. It does seem like this would be the perfect time for a villain to strike. And,
the atmosphere is ripe with conspiracy.
so hopefully the accord between heroes and villains will maintain. But as residents of Super City would know, that hasn't always been the case in the past. So we will give you up to the date information on all the fun stuff and, of course, all the horrific stuff that might happen. You've been to these parades before, Sal? You've seen one of these?
Yes,
Wow.
I've been to a number of them over the years. I do enjoy a good parade.
Of course.
Personally, I've got my fingers crossed that Giant Barrel makes a return.
Wow, Giant Barrel.
Giant Barrel. That's one of my favorite floats.
And it's just a very big barrel.
It's a giant barrel.
It's a giant barrel, of course. Because like
Very
barrels,
big sort of doesn't
no,
sound.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Because like you could find like a very big barrel in like a winery or a
Angus,
cellar.
I don't want to talk about it until I see it. All right?
Of course.
So let's titillate the audience here.
Of course. Now, I haven't been to one of these since I was a kid. I came to one, I kind of snuck out as a kid because my family wasn't big on coming and seeing these things. So I kind of snuck out on my own. And I sat on top of a lamppost and pretended like I was sitting on someone's shoulders. It was a thrilling time. Of course, that was one of the times where a villain attacked and the parade almost immediately ended. But I got to see one or two floats. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, I must say.
Well, let's hope history doesn't repeat itself. But
God, I
maybe
hope not.
Will.
I hope not.
Because this parade is kicking off, and of course, starting off the entire event is the Goliath Memorial Float, which of course memorializes all of the fallen superheroes from the past year. And this is a nice touch. I always find this to be a nice touch. This float is actually made from Goliath's flesh.
Of course. Now some of it. Well, now I'm trying to remember correctly. Sal,
Go ahead.
Was Goliath the giant person in Super City who part of his body got turned into a school that we went undercover at, or am I thinking of a different?
The skeleton structure and the musculature forms a school, the Goliath Memorial High School, but the flesh was harvested, and of course sewn up and now inflated for us to view and enjoy. Look at it being pulled through the air. So majestic.
I just wish they could have done something about his expression.
In order to properly capture the memorial aspect of fallen superheroes, the pain and the horror are important.
Wow,
Okay.
and just...
Of course, there's his family and his children growing up so well in the shadow of their father.
And they do have to walk under the shadow of the float. That am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, this is of course to shelter them from the sight of it.
Of course,
if they walk in front of it or behind it, they can see too much.
They might see it. Yeah,
the memories come back too strong.
Wow. Well, I hope this float is well preserved, because I would love to see this for many years to come.
I hope it outlives his family.
That's a terrible thing to hope, Sal, but I kind of hope it too. And of course, being followed up by the Goliath float, we've got one of our Union floats. Sal, this is the Monkey Bartender Union.
Okay.
The Union of Bartender Monkeys. Of course, listeners of the show will remember we haven't run into these guys since I was in my Shark field agent training.
The examination, yes.
Yeah, and of course, I killed quite a few of those chimpanzee bartenders. I believe with a banana katana.
The banana katana. Yes.
And of course, you guys will now know that I made a peace offering. I gave them that as a gift to make peace, and of course, nothing could possibly go wrong. Hang on. Someone has made eye contact with one of the monkey bartenders, and it has flown into a rage.
Oh dear.
Oh boy. I really wish he didn't have that sword now.
Brandishing it quite well.
Yep.
It seems they have been training for this moment. Look at those graceful arcs of the swing.
Yep. And as in classic chimp fashion, attacks mostly focused on the face and genitals, just the most sensitive areas. Of course, if you're listening closely, those wet slaps hitting the plexiglass container that Sal and I are in are the peeled off faces of the victims of the monkey bartenders. It's
a lot of flesh talk early in the parade, but this makes
very
me hopeful
early
for
on.
the next little while.
Yeah, it's a lot. It sounds a lot like baloney hitting a window, but I can tell you they are faces.
Well, fortunately, the cleaning crew coming in, sweeping up all of that discarded flesh, making way for the next float. Now, this is really exciting. We have coming up the flutolites, which are, of course, the artificial life forms that are bred exclusively for the purpose of playing in the marching band for this parade. They are grown in a vat. They are trained in an isolated laboratory for the entire year leading up to this event. And just as this event ends, they will age out and die.
Yes. In fact, we're watching them age right now. Correctly?
Yes, correct. This is literally their life's work that we're watching play out in front of us.
God, I didn't expect so many upfront representations of mortality, and how I didn't expect to be grappling with my own mortality this early in the parade. But
existentialism is a very big part of this parade.
Of course, because hey, we all exist. We all got to deal with it,
and eventually we don't.
And of course, Sal is referencing the quote from one of our sponsors today. We have EZ Funeral Service, where we all exist until we don't.
They have a special deal at the moment. Buy one, get one. You get one casket, you get the second one for free. So, if you have maybe a family member that you know is passing away soon, or maybe someone going away on a ski trip, good time to stock up.
Yep. And of course, things are very morbid today, Sal. We're off to a really grotesque, morbid start.
We can only go up from here.
Of course. And of course, bringing things down a little bit, as they always do, is the float from the... Oh, Sal, you might take special interest in this. This is the float from the Bureaucrats Union. A union from which you used to kind of be a member back in your... Shark days.
Yes, of course. It's a bit of a shame today. Seems they weren't able to get the paperwork in on time for their float. So it is just a bunch of business suit-clad individuals walking in the street.
Oh, now listen to a couple. There's a couple counting machines going that kind of give them a little bit of a fanfare. But yeah, this is not ideal. They are just kind of orderly walking.
Oh, and it's actually looking like they're dispersing. Seems that they went over their time, so they're just calling it there.
They scattered like a bunch of cockroach when you turn on the lights.
But you know, it's still we have a brief reprieve here for a moment. I guess it's always nice to see groups make an effort.
It is
because really the most important thing about today is the spirit of the event.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Here's a group coming in, channeling that very spirit. It's the League of Villainous Evil.
Yes.
Coming in with their own float here. Bit of an odd choice, though. They appear to be going about half the speed of all the other floats.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, this is not technically against the rules, but it is certainly an inconvenience for the floats before them.
It is causing a mild amount of pandemonium down there.
Yeah, wow.
Um,
It's while not direct villainous evil, it is, I would say, a bit of a dick move. Wouldn't you say, Sal?
Well, I can only think of the echoing repercussions from this, because every delay to this parade means that ambulances can't get to hospitals.
Of course. Wow.
Deliveries can't get to warehouses.
Because as everyone knows, this parade does not end until the last float crosses the finish line. So it's not about if there's not like a set time that we all have to be out of here at. It is if these guys run out the clock, it just goes longer. So yeah, that's a bit of a wow, and they are just really soaking it up. They look very satisfied with themselves.
A lot of smug smiles.
Normally you'd expect some like maniacal laughing from the League of Villainous Evil, but no, they're really satisfied with themselves. They're just hands on hips, nodding to themselves. Wow.
Well, they are throwing candy to the crowd. A nice gesture.
Oh,
a lot of people spitting the candy out.
Yeah.
Those are thumbtacks.
Those are thumbtacks. Jesus Christ. Now that's just straight up evil. Classic League of Villainous Evil. Now, Sal, actually following shortly behind it, I thought this was maybe the repercussions of the last float that we just saw, but I'm being told that it's actually the Professional Victims Union.
Oh wow!
Yeah, a lot of unions today.
Hey, it's important. It's
important.
This is a super city.
Yep.
Parade, and they're a part of it.
And of course, these guys also really, really taking up their time. Everyone's kind of a lot of like bad limping, screaming.
But I will say, if I didn't know they were putting this on, I would think it's real. They know their craft.
100%. They are, and like a lot of them brought their own foam casts, neck braces, and that stuff. It's such a hard field to break into because you got to bring so much of your own equipment to the victims unit.
Definitely a job that can be made by your power. If you have the ability to regrow limbs, then just being able to sever a limb to really sell that emergency is super important.
Yeah, of course. We've got someone in there crying ice cubes. We've got someone who's it seems like they can. Oh no, that's just an actual injured person. Okay, they got hit by one of the floats, and it's hard to tell. It really muddies the water when you've got.
People who are faking an emergency and people who are having an emergency.
Yeah.
Well, now, here's an exciting one coming up right on the heels of the Professional Victims Union. It is a float that is consisting of non-Euclidean geometry. It is absolutely mind-bending.
And I would say, honestly, impossible to describe.
Yeah, I cannot firmly grasp what I'm seeing with my mind. Every time I try to focus on it, I get a migraine.
Yeah. So, listeners, you're just going to have to take your word for it. Oh, Sal, let me get to this hanky. Your nose is bleeding.
It certainly is. My brain is literally liquefying. Truly a sight to see. And all I can say about it is habble gabble habble.
Okay, everybody.
Slaggle.
This is the perfect time for us to go to break because Sal's brain needs a quick old reset. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi everyone, I'm Tong.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Laura.
And we are
Disney Dummies!
Look, we know there are Disney superfans out there, but even the superest of fans could still be Disney dummies.
That's why the three of us are on a quest to watch every single animated theatrical release in chronological order, from Snow White all the way to whatever's out right now.
We dive into each movie in detail, talking about fun facts, talking about the animation, hit you with some hot takes, our favorite reviews on the internet.
We even talk about who fucks.
I still can't believe that's an actual segment.
So join us every second Wednesday for another episode of Disney Dummies.
And Pixar pals when we finally catch up.
Yeah. Brought to you by the fairy tale whimsical depths of the pod cavern.
All right, buddy. How you feel now?
I'm doing a lot better. And after that word from our sponsor, there are, of course, some sponsors for this parade that we do need to give their time in the spotlight. Why don't you kick us off here?
Of course. Well, actually, I brought Sal back to sanity with Craze Be Gone.
Smelling salts.
Smelling salts. Thank you. Craze Be Gone smelling salts. You break these in front of someone who's just having a mental breakdown, and it'll force them to come back to reality.
It is a quick and tumultuous trip back into the throes of sanity, but it does the trick.
I should say it does not fix any of the underlying problems. It simply suppresses them and forces you to engage with this hellish reality that we all live in. Sal, I've noticed you've got a product there too that you might want to talk about.
Yeah, it's convenient you brought up a hellish reality. I have here a pamphlet from the Hell Dimension Office of Tourism.
Wow.
They are, of course, starting their bid for their festival season. So if you are in the mood to take in some of the amazing sights from the Hell Dimension, then you can enjoy one of their 666 festivals coming up in the new year.
Now, I've never been to the hellish dimension. Have you?
I went once. I had gotten into a car accident.
Oh no, Jesus!
And I had a
So you
brief
died.
trip. I had a brief trip there, but I was brought back. Don't worry.
Wow.
But while I was there, it was a trip that felt like it lasted a lifetime.
I've never thought about going. I just burn so easily.
No one ever thinks they're going until they're there.
Until they're there.
And then, boy, are you confronted with a lot of your choices?
Oh yeah. And for listeners at home, remember, this now establishes hell is real. Wow. Well, maybe Sal, maybe we'll have to go there and do an episode sometime. Sounds like it could be real interesting.
Sounds like it could be a lot of fun.
And it could be a break from this horrific reality we already live in. Oh, look, now this is a very cute float, Sal. This is one of the ones I got to see when I was a kid, and it really did impact me. And it's puppies with superpowers. Oh, look at that.
So cute.
Yep,
We got,
so
of
cute.
course, super strength puppy. Look at those rippling abdominals.
Yep, we got stretchy puppy. We only still see the front half of the puppy walking. That back half is somewhere, probably peeing on a fire hydrant.
It is absolutely adorable. We have invisible puppy. Look at it, or rather, don't.
Or don't. Yeah, there's a lot of baby powder dispensers over the parade track just to reveal any invisible entities. Very handy, especially with the invisible float that went by during our break.
Now, up next here is another marching band. And I'm excited to hear what they have to put on for us. Coming from Super City High is Go Gators.
Go Gators.
Is the Super City High marching band, and they are going to play "Out Goes the Coconut," a classic song.
Yep.
Let's give it a listen. Oh, that's not good.
No, that's unfortunate. That is. It sounds like they're still tuning their instruments, to be honest.
I'm not entirely sure every member of the band was given the same sheet music.
No. I'm also kind of concerned that a couple of the members keep sitting. They've got some of the tubaist. You could see will sit down in a chair, play a few notes. The rest of the band is moved forward. He'll stand up. He'll pull the chair, try to sit. So I don't even know if this is fully a marching band. It almost looks like a couple classes got merged together.
The conductor has sat down.
Yes,
They're just not happy about how this is going. Head in their hands.
Haven't seen a pout like that since the 96th annual parade, which I wasn't at, but I'm told we all heard about that pout.
That was a big pout.
It was a big pout, and of course our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of everyone lost in the big pout. Oh, of course, this is a good, just a very solid float. Of course, just a representative of Metal Guy. It's a metal float that's made mostly of recycled materials from within Super City, and it seems to be going pretty well. You know,
It is going quite well. Quite amazed that they managed to make all that metal float. But
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point.
Leave it up to Metal Guy to figure out a way to get around that physical limitation.
Yep. Classic Metal Guy.
Now, this next float does not appear to be going well for the.
It does not.
What would you call the group that are leading this float? Handlers, the float handlers.
I would say handlers. I would say yeah, guides, handlers.
The giant.
They're not doing a good job handling, though. We should say that.
The giant floating Cyclops is putting up quite a fight. This is a unique float in that it is a giant floating eyeball that is alive. And it is putting up a hell of a fight.
Well, it really doesn't seem to like that harness that it's been confined to. And it's just smashed into one of the buildings, of course. Oh, watch out for that glass falling, everybody. Of course, we are safe in our plexiglass container made by I believe it's 7X's. Of course, the sponsor for today's episode, and that keeps us safe from all the falling glass.
And other debris. Remember, when you're being bombarded by glass and other debris, choose Plex.
Yep. Good. Very good. That's good ad read, Sal.
Thank you.
Yeah. In a different life, you could have been an ad man.
Let's not talk about different lives.
Oh, wow. Okay, Sal, really... Oh, actually, speaking of different lives, the next float coming up is all of us from a different dimension. Of course, they all seem very confused. A portal has just opened and they're being made to walk down the street. If you look closely, you might be able to see an alternate version of yourself.
Of course, if you don't see an alternate version of yourself, please keep an eye on your back, because doppelgangers are known to strike at their counterparts.
It's true, Sal. I do not see myself in there, so I'm very glad we're in this plexiglass container, sponsored by Plex.
All right, well, things are beginning to wind down here.
Just a little bit.
We do have another musical performer coming up. It's on the float for Superhero Depends, the only diaper you should wear when saving the city. It's a special performer, Kanye West.
Yep.
He's just old Yeezy there seems to be singing one of his most popular songs.
Yep.
Don't know it personally.
Now, of course, it doesn't sound perfect from here in the plexiglass container. That's probably a good thing so that we don't get a copyright claim against us. So, but if you're outside, you could definitely hear one of those sweet, sweet Yeezy tunes. Oh, I'm being told we don't see them yet, but I'm being told the next float is the Speedster float, and there it goes. Went
Amazing
right by,
show.
Very fast. A blink and you missed it, and I blanked and I missed it.
A lot of superpowers do make for a flashy float. We, of course, have the superheroes that can fly. They don't necessarily have a float, but they do an aerial demonstration. You can see it overhead now. They appear to be spelling out a fun message for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Have a happy holidays.
Jeez, they didn't really plan this out. Yep.
Days is spelled with a Z.
Oh, that's kind of cool and edgy.
Yeah.
Continuing the trend of superhero floats, we have all the glowing heroes. Now, everyone, put your sunglasses on for this one. All of our glowing heroes are walking by. If you don't have the provided sunglasses, please look away.
It's always a tricky thing with the glowing superheroes because some of them are just, phosphorant, while others are radioactive.
Yes.
So, if you are close to the front lines, please make sure you're also wearing your lead shields.
And of course, we don't have to worry about that because we are also being sponsored today by Lead
Base
Paint.
It's the only protective lead barrier you can apply directly to your skin.
Yep, it's delicious.
All right. Now, Angus.
I can see this look on your face.
Here it comes, rolling down the street. It's the giant barrel, and people are losing their minds.
I have to say,
cannot believe it.
I don't fully get it, but I don't fully get it with all the massive, exciting things we've seen today. There has not been quite as big a pop as there was just now for the giant barrel. Sal, I can't say that I fully get it, but I'm
Parents
glad
holding out
everyone's
their
so
babies,
excited.
hoping the barrel kisses them.
Yeah.
Women revealing themselves to the barrel.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Hoping for some attention. Men fighting each other to establish dominance in front of the barrel. So many people consumed with their basest instinct in front of the giant barrel.
Now, Sal, I have to ask you, as because you're the person I know best who's a big fan of the giant barrel.
Giant.
You're a giant fan. What do you think's inside the barrel?
Well, some people believe that it's all the good of the world. Others believe it's every evil, kind of like a Pandora's barrel.
Sure.
I personally believe that the barrel contains nothing.
Wow.
That's the magical part about it, is the believing of what could be inside of it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you don't need to get the satisfaction of letting the cat out of the barrel.
Wow.
It's just more important to think about. Oh,
Wow.
The barrel crashed. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
It cracked open. It was
my
full
God.
of lobsters.
Oh, Jesus.
Lobsters spilling out into the street.
Of course, we are safe in our plexiglass container, but that's a lot of lobsters. We're going to need the cleanup crew really in here.
The super puppies are intervening,
Of course.
coming in to save the day. Unfortunately, still puppies, not complete mastery over their powers. But
No, and it's a lot of just grabbing a lobster and shaking it until it stops moving, which is in and itself pretty horrendous. It's
You know, after emptiness, after sort of like a metaphorical container, lobster barrel was actually my second guess.
That's good. Wow. Well, hey, good guess. Solid.
Well, I didn't get it. I guessed the whole
Hey,
metaphor
but
thing.
second guessing yourself is the first step to.
Anxiety.
Yes, that's right.
Which brings us to our last advertisement. Things going okay in your life? Try anxiety.
Do you think that things might be going a little too well for you and you don't deserve it to be this good? Try anxiety.
Oh, there's one more here. Awake at night? Confronted with all of the errors you've made in your past? That's anxiety. Well, we're winding down here now at
We
the
are.
Super City parade. It's been a good 98th year.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, of course. We're already getting started on year 99.
Absolutely.
The parade district is in a continuous time loop.
That's. I feel like we should have mentioned that earlier, but maybe we just forgot.
While the rest of Super City exists in its own established timeline, the parade district just sort of keeps repeating in perpetuity. Is it the 98th parade float or the 998th float? Who's to say?
Who's to know? Just another fine product of anxiety. Of course, the sweepers are coming in now. They're really bringing up the back of the pack here, sweeping up all the debris, all the viscera that was in here,
All the
a lot of the
people, too.
confetti, the people that got crushed along the way, and no one, you know what? No one's really clapping for the broom team. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'm gonna get us started on a nice respectful slow clap. Oh, they're all looking at me. They all seem very frustrated. And
Stoic bunch, the
yeah.
cleaners.
Okay, my apologies, guys. So sorry about that.
Now, looks like our attendant is coming to let us out of the plexiglass.
Thank God.
case. Interesting looking guy here. He's got a beard, long hair.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah, beard, long hair. What else does he look like?
Distinct lack of lumps and pus.
Yeah, no, does it like
You know,
would you say
striking
he looks,
resemblance to you.
looks like me without a backpack. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
well,
good. Well, hey,
Let's step out of this protective case. We're done here.
yeah. I should probably wrap up the show. That's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. For those of you listening at home, remember, try to do the right thing. Hey, man, Hey, man, what's up? Why don't you just come over here with me? Look, man, I thank you for letting us out, but I'm good. You're not the normal guy. Of course I'm the normal guy. I'm the guy that put you in here, aren't I? No, you're not. Hey, get your hands
Angus,
off.
he's got a knife. He's got a knife.
Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow is played by Matthew Waller. We've got some exciting news for the podcast. On December 14th at Arts Court in Ottawa, we are doing a live 100th episode for Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. If you want to check it out, click the link in the description or search Heroes Don't Do Paperwork on eventbrite.com. If you want to support the show or any of the other shows in the Podcavern Network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.